Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. I hope you're doing well. I want to talk to you tonight about heavyweights, specifically British heavyweights. And when we talk about British heavyweights, we're sport for choice, aren't we? Because you've got Dubois recently knocked out AJ. Tyson Fury lost to Usyk. No shame in that. He's still in the mix. Fabio Wardley's flying with that one-round destruction over Frazer Clarke. Mo Satama, is there a bigger, better heavyweight prospect than Mo Satama, only 19? Probably not in the world. But it isn't just that top echelon where we're talking great heavyweight matchups. If you go down to domestic level or even lower to area level, there are some very, very good heavyweight matchups to be made, very good ones, with lots of entertainment. And if you're a regular small hall guy like I am, I'd much prefer the small hall boxing to the big arenas. I can't afford £2,000 to sit ringside at Wembley, but I can afford 80 quid to sit ringside at the York Hall or a leisure centre or something like that. And do you know what? The atmosphere's a damn sight better. And it's a proper boxing community. It's people that you're sitting next to. They know what they're watching. Usually, it's not full of people just going out on the piss. People want to watch the fights, and they know what they're looking at. And that's the kind of environment I like. And so, small hall boxing, to me, fantastic. I love it. I've always loved it. And when you get the heavyweights in the ring, you can have some fantastic domestic dust-ups. You really can. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about some of the sort of lower British heavyweights who I'd like to see fight each other. I don't see any reason why they can't all fight each other. One loses to the other, win, then he wins. And, they all sort of, it's like a little round robin thing. And I suppose we should start really with Frazer Clarke, who, if he carries on, I think he probably will. He's never held the British title. He fought for it twice against Wardley, and we know what happens. Got a draw, very, very close, brilliant fight, and then got blown away in the first round of the rematch. So he's going to drop down, to sort of British level, or maybe even English level. So that's one person we can throw into the hat, one name we can throw into the hat. Another one is Solomon Dacres, who is currently 9 wins with 3 KOs, no draws and no defeats. He's 30, he's from West Midlands, and he is the current English heavyweight champion. He won it, I think, last year. I can't remember what part of the year, maybe the first half of the year, against undefeated Robert Ismay. Stopped him in 2 rounds. Robert was 11-0 coming in. No match for Solomon. Got rid of him in 2 rounds. Then he defended it with a majority decision against Michael Webster. Webster came in undefeated, 9-0. And some people thought Webster did more than enough to beat Solomon. And it was very, very close. I mean, I thought, I can definitely make a case for Webster winning that fight. But then they had a rematch, which was in the middle half of this year, June, July of this year. And Solomon, put the exclamation mark on it with a 7th round TKO. So he's made a couple of defences of that English title. Now, the Southern Area champ is someone you're going to have heard of as Johnny Fisher, who's been trumpeted by Eddie Hearn as a big, he is a massive ticket seller. And he's got a character. It's all all that Bosch stuff that goes on. And his dad's a massive big lad. And they just seem like a very popular, Essex outfit who are going to bring the fans in. And I definitely think Johnny can go beyond Southern Area level. He holds the Southern Area belt. Last seen blowing the hell out of Alan Babbage. Babbage just looked shot to bits, didn't he? Did him in half a minute or whatever it was. So yeah, why not Solomon Dacres against Johnny Fisher? That'll be a English title defence for Dacres. Another guy who's in the mix, and another guy who's lost to Fabio Wardley. That was in his last fight. He got done in 7 rounds. That's David Adeleye. And the defeat to Wardley was over in Riyadh. It was the back end of last year, I think September, October, November, maybe something like that. 27 years old though, so he's not old at all. He's about 6'4", 6'5", orthodox fighter. Comes from, he comes from London. I think it's Ladbroke Grove area. 12 wins with 11 KOs, so he's got a bit of pop at a certain level, and just that one defeat. Has held the WBO European title, but that's neither here nor there. The real European title is the EBU title, of course. Scraped by Kamil Sokolowski, the Polish journeyman. I thought Sokolowski won that fight, to be honest with you, but no. David got the verdict, fair enough, but still in the mix at English level, area level. Put him in with Adeleye. Put Adeleye in with Dacres, should say, or Johnny Fisher, maybe. And then there's another guy, another Londoner from Tottenham, not too far from where I was. I'm from North London as well. Jeamie TKV. Shikava, I think, is his real name, but he goes by TKV, Jeamie TKV. And at the weekend, he was seen knocking out or stopping a previously undefeated Franklin Ignatius. It was a scrappy, mauling fight. Quite a bit of naughtiness going on, a few illegal bits and pieces going on. And I think Ignatius just sort of ran out of gas, really, and Jeamie stopped him. Jamie's got 7 wins now with 4 KOs, 1 defeat. And that defeat was one of the worst bits of matchmaking I've seen for many a year. It was back in 2023, maybe just over a year ago. He fought this geezer called Igor Macedo of Brazil, who came in with 11 wins and 1 defeat. And you should have seen this guy. He looked mean. I mean, looks can be deceptive. Of course they can. And I don't mean he was a big muscle-bound guy, although he was just big and looked powerful. And he's got this really mean face. And I thought, if this bloke can fight half as intimidatingly as he looks, Jeamie TKV is going to have his hands full here. Well, he could fight. And he stopped Jeamie on a really horrendous cut. Above the left eye. It was from a punch. It wasn't a headbutt. Jeamie, it was like one of those jagged cuts, like a sort of zigzagging all over the place, blood flying everywhere. Stopped him in 6th round. And since then, Jeamie's come back with a good 6-round win over Konstantin Dovvyschenko, I think it's. I can never pronounce this guy's name. He is a Ukrainian journeyman who is much, much better than his record suggests. He's got 10 wins, I think about 16 defeats, and all 16 are points. He's almost impossible to stop. And then he followed that up, Jeamie did, with a win over, like I say, Franklin Ignatius at the weekend. So that's another name you can throw into the hat. Again, put him in with Dacres, Adeleye, Frazer, Clarke. You've got a few other older sort of names. Kash, of course, he's coming back. He had back-to-back defeats, a 6-rounder against the very, very good, very underrated Bohdan Mironets. I mean, this guy can fight Mironets. He came in, it was 6 wins, one defeat. And he's also, after the Kash points win, he outpointed Nathan Gorman over 8. So this guy can fight. He's a 30-year-old from Ukraine. These Ukrainian guys are tough, really, really tough. I think he lives in Latvia, though, in Riga, which is one of my favourite cities. I love Riga. But this guy can really fight. He's a very, very good fighter indeed. Only 1 defeat, and he certainly outboxed Kash in Kash's, well, I think it was over in Scotland, Edinburgh, Glasgow, something like that. And then Kash went in with Joe Joyce, got stopped in the 10th and final round, probably lasted a lot longer than many people thought, myself included. I just mentioned Nathan Gorman. Why not put him in the hat, his name in the hat, if he wants to carry on? These are all names that from area level to British level, maybe, you mix and match them and you're going to get some very good heavyweight fights, entertaining heavyweight fights that, guess what, we can afford to see in person, I mean, Whereas the other heavyweights, you've got to have a bit of money in your pocket to go see them, and times are hard for a lot of people. But check out these guys, whenever they're doing the rounds. Some of them are, they'll be at the York Hall, they'll be at, some leisure centre somewhere. I remember going to a few years ago, I went to one in Doncaster, the Doncaster Dome. And I mean, another name would be Dave Allen. He seems to be, he's Fisher's next opponent, isn't he? But he seems to come and go. He seems to want to still fight. So I don't know. What do you think? Am I missing any names? Let me know if I am. And leave your comments below if you've got any. And yeah, thank you very much for your time. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the like button if you could do that. Big help. Big help. You're helping the channel out a lot. We want to grow the channel. Of course we do, because it's your channel as much as mine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. I will speak to you soon, and bye for now.